A lot of people ask me how dry needling works. They get dry needling or acupuncture and it helps them and they're like, well, how does this work? Okay, so to understand how dry needling works, you have to understand what they're trying to affect or what they're trying to do. So initially, what the idea is that it's helping trigger points or muscle spasm. So muscle is essentially two lines like this, one line on top of the other. And what happens is when we contract, they grab together and then they pull. And that kind of brings the muscle shorter. So when there's spasm or when there's, if it feels under threat or, if we get a bang, it doesn't want to move. So what happens is the muscle grabs, it starts contracting and it stays contracting because it doesn't want you to be able to move your arm in case you broke it or if there's something wrong. So it tries stop any movement. Essentially like what you do with a cast, you just stop the movement. Now it stays contracting. Now what can happen though then is the muscle needs energy to latch, energy to pull in together, and then energy to relax, to release apart. But when the muscle goes into spasm, if it feels threatened or if something happens, say you jar your back or it just feels that it wants to stop any movement, it just stays contracting and eventually it runs out of energy. Okay, so it's stuck in that position that it's connected and can't come apart. And then it's like if you held a sponge tight. You can put that sponge into water, but it's not going to take any new water in unless you release your hand. So that's essentially what the needling is trying to do. You're basically taking the needle, putting it in here, which increases the blood flow into that area and allows it to basically, you'll see sometimes feel a twitch. And what they think in theory, what is happening is the muscle is basically uncoupling. It's releasing off, and then that allows you to move it smoother. So the needle is getting in there, it's increasing the amount of blood flow, the nutrients and ATP energy in there to allow the muscle to relax off after it's been in spasm. So that's the idea behind dry needling. It's trying to reduce muscle spasm or trigger points.